everyone, my name is Anne from ZB Farms, and today I am actually going to be making sourdough bread. My kids ate almost my entire loaf yesterday when we ran out of our normal store-bought bread, which we are trying to switch out of, but we are working on it. So today I'm actually in the process of making some more. Right here is actually our sourdough starter. It's really big, so I have to actually use a bunch of it up. So we are going to be making some sourdough bread today. And the recipe for the one that I'm going to use, you can actually go to farmhouseonboone.com, I believe. It's Farmhouse on Boone is the YouTube channel, which I will link them below. But it's also from her blog, and it is her Artisan no knead sourdough bread. So today we are going to make that together. So before we get started on this, there's a couple of things you are actually going to want. The first thing is going to be a scale, a kitchen scale. You can actually use whatever one you find. You can use a mail scale, just mailing postage scale, anything like that. But a scale is going to be your best friend because it just works the best for you. So, and we are also going to need flour, wheat flour, and if you happen to have it, bread flour. But if you don't, just use regular all-purpose flour. Just make sure you are using the unbleached all-purpose flour. And we will get started. So the first thing we are going to do is put a bowl on our scale and tare it, which just means it's at a 0 measurement. And then we are going to start with 500 grams of all-purpose flour. We're just going to measure it right in the bowl. And if it's not exact, that is perfectly fine. Taylor, can I please do it? And then we are going to do 200 grams of wheat flour. And then comes our bread flour, or more all-purpose flour. And this is about 200 grams. The water, and this is going to be 650 grams. And I would measure your water in a separate container so that way if you go over, you can take it out. Now, we just mix these together first. So Taylor, can you mix that first? Okay. And the reason we're doing this is because it takes at least a half an hour for the water to hydrate the flour, which is what we want. And this will help in the process. Going to cover this for about 30 minutes. And then we'll be back. Hey everyone, so we are back to finish the bread making. So the bread has actually, technically the flour and water has actually been sitting for about 45 minutes to an hour actually, because I got busy with my work. But now it's time to add the next steps, so we'll go through that. So now I actually fed my sourdough starter this morning at about 8 a.m. So it's been about 3 hours, so it's super bubbly, and this is ready to go. It looks really good in there. So we actually need about 250 grams of the sourdough starter. And then we need about 20 about 20 grams of sea salt. And then now is the time where we get our hands dirty, and we're going to go in and clean that up. Or start mixing it up. Going to cover it and put it in a nice warm place. I use my oven with the light on, but wherever is warm is fine. Okay, so now it's been about an hour since I mixed all of the dough. Usually at about a half an hour I like to start folding it over, and you want to do that about 6-7 times in over the next couple of hours. I'm a little later than I usually like to do. That's okay though. This is such a forgiving recipe because it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to show you how I fold our sourdough. So basically what I'm doing there in the folding process is I'm actually taking one of the edges, lifting it up as high as I can get it without it breaking, and then I'm going to pull it over, and I'm going to turn the bowl a little bit, either right or left, doesn't matter, but you do that several times, and then you put it into a warm place, and you keep doing this over and over. What that's going to do is that's going to allow air bubbles to get into the sourdough, and that gives you that beautiful, bubbly, holy bread on the inside. And basically we're going to do this over the next couple of hours, and I love this part. This is one of my favorite parts to do because I get to work with my hands. There's several steps in here where I get to work with my hands, but this one's the favorite because you can see the progression of the dough over each step. So stay tuned. But this next step is actually very important. So right now I am actually going to take this beautiful bread. Look how gorgeous that is. We do not want to pound this down at all. We want to leave it. We want to do this as gently as possible because this is a no-knead recipe. So that's the reason for it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this out gently on the counter, cut it in half, and form it into a ball. Let me here. This is a lightly floured surface. Dry. We want to build like a nice crust over top, and we're going to let them dry for about 20 to 30 minutes. Hi everyone. So it's been about a half an hour. So there is a nice crust that has formed on this bread. So now we get to flip it over and put it in the fridge. So gently pick it up. Don't want it to deflate too much. Basically going to pull all the edges in towards each other. set it down with the crust side in on the towel. So just like that. Now I'm gonna get to the other one. That one done. Hello everyone. So it's been 14 hours. I also have the oven already preheated to 500 degrees and my Dutch oven sitting in there preheating as well. It's been preheating for probably a good half an hour because I want it hot. Now's the time where we get to have the fun part. One of my many fun parts. We're gonna flip this out onto this parchment paper I have right here. I love this part. I'm going to put this in the Dutch oven for 20 minutes covered, and then after 20 minutes I'm going to uncover it, and it's about 20 to 25 minutes uncovered at 475. So let's get to it. I think it looks good. I think the kids are gonna like it. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can keep up to date on what is happening at ZV Farms.